G'day, this is Adam Hills. Welcome to the vodcast for ABC TV's Spicks and Specks, the show where music trivia is king and Queen is a stadium rock band fronted by Freddie Mercury, although clearly not anymore. For more vodcasts like this, go to abc.net.au/TV/video and don't forget to watch Spicks and Specks Wednesdays at 8:30 on ABC TV. See you then.
I'm quite uncoordinated.
Really?
A little bit.
We can't get Sarah to dance and then we'd know. What, if we give you a rhythm, I'll give you a rhythm.
I've got a feeling that Sarah doesn't want to dance for us.
Well, maybe we could just push her up.
Yeah.
Would it help if, you know, Hamish and I stood up here and just did the bloke's dance of, you know, one foot to the other foot and then back again?
Well, I'd love to see you dance, yes, yeah.
I luckily am in the right outfit for that.
You most certainly are, Hamish. Yeah, good.
What are some of your signature moves, Hamish?
I do a few of those ones just like to make people know he could pull something here, and I'll go to do a double flip, and I'll just fake a hammy, and then...
Fine. Well, this is mine, Sarah. Yeah, I'm happy to show you my dance moves.
Okay.
From this angle, he's actually doing the head too. So
yeah, I don't even see that side on. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Do you reckon, like, guys, when they are that's all you can do? That, you know, you're not allowed to do anything more. You take a risk. It might be really embarrassing.
Yeah.
Do you reckon deep inside them, there's just a little part of them that just wants to break out and go? But they can't. It's too much. They do, don't they?
because he makes it just go. Yeah, of course.
The Eagles were brought up there, Jerry.
Yes.
Were they the hardest partying band in rock?
They had an ongoing poker game called Eagle Poker that went up to thousands of dollars a flight. And it spread to other bands. And so we played Eagle Poker on our flight. We had a plane. Most of us had our own planes in the 70s. But...
Wow.
Yeah,
How good is that?
we just no one's ever said that sentence on our show before. Well, now, here's my question for you. What is it like when you guys get together now?
Not quite the same, not quite the same. I have something I call great moments in rock now. And, you know, I think you call them chemists, do you? We call them drugstores, you know.
Yep.
And down the bottom of our street where I go to get prescriptions filled and things, I was in line the other day, and there was a guy in front of me, and I thought, this guy looks really familiar, but he's quite older now, and he's kind of, you know, walking a bit of a waddle. I thought, who is this guy? And I couldn't get a name, and so I watched him go up and get his prescription filled, and he walked by me, and I'm thinking, why do I know this guy? And he walked out, and I'm thinking about it the whole time, and I get my prescription filled, you know, whatever it is, I've got my bag, and as I'm going out, I go, that's John Densmore Robbie Krieger from The Doors. And The Doors is one of my favorite bands from the 60s. And as I go out, he's about 10 yards ahead of me, and I'm thinking to myself, do I want to make a fool of myself and go, hey, Robbie? You know, and as I'm just about to say, hey, Robbie, over my shoulder, somebody says, hey, Jerry. and I look over, and it's Burton Cummings from a group called the Guess Who, and this guy wrote American Woman. And I said, Burton, that's Robbie Krieger. And the three of us, there's Light My Fire and Sister Golden Hair and American Woman. We're all standing there with our bags of drugs.
I have never understood...
Alan, no!
The Khalees.
The police, I do not. I've watched it, and I've sat down with a number of people that I used to be friends with, and I have said, what is bringing the boys to the yard?
But the milkshakes. The
Do you
chocolate.
not remember that kiddies rhyme, that milk lemonade?
Round the corner, chocolate, eh?
Yeah. How come Rhonda and I have heard it?
Am I being really naive to not understand what the milkshakes are?
Yeah, I think so. It's about breastfeeding, Alan. It's about breastfeeding.
One of the problems is I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm watching the video just thinking, oh, I just get all bloaty. Sorry, Adam, I just needed to ask.
I've got a confession to make.
Yes.
When you were in Savage Garden,
Yes.
I was a radio announcer in Adelaide, and I pre-recorded an interview with you guys for your first song.
I Want You.
The program director came in, listened to the interview, listened to the song and went, that band will never make it, you're not playing the interview. And every time you guys had a hit, I just would take it in and put it on his desk and go, yeah, you're right, they're hopeless.
Did you know our favourite review actually was really quite funny because it said this band has the shelf life of warm prawns in the Queensland sun. I remember that review.
You always remember the bad ones.
Like, how many
Yeah.
albums did you sell? Have you sold yet so far?
6.
How many? 6
This
million?
sounds so cheesy. Can you say like about 12? Can you say
Okay. How about, let's say 12 million?
It's actually a bit more than that. It's 25.
Twice as many as you would
Alan,
think, bro.
you totally underestimated how
Oh, no, yeah, look, I'm willing to take that. I made a bad call there.
And I did want to ask you one more thing. Is it true that Bono said you had an amazing voice? Bono from U2.
No, can you say Human Nature said it? And then I'll go...
Human Nature said...
That was actually Bono.
It's the Allegri Miserere,
Yes.
and it was owned by the Sistine Chapel Choir in the Vatican,
Yes.
and it was written out by Mozart from memory after one hearing.
3 points out of 3.
You're right, man.
After one, he wrote it from memory after one
one
hearing.
What age was he when he did that?
I have no idea.
This is like a little cocktail party. Cheers.
So tell me, Richard, did he really do that in one hearing?
Yes, he did.
Now, Richard, there is a whole story about Mozart in that piece, but I've got a feeling you're probably going to tell it better than I am.
No, so please go ahead.
Nobody likes a clever clown.
All right, well, correct me if I've got my facts wrong. That piece of music was basically owned by, you said the Sistine Chapel,
Yeah.
or the Pope, really,
yes.
who wouldn't let it be played unless he gave it the rights.
Correct.
So Mozart happened to hear it, and because of his incredible memory, then went home, wrote it out, and then took it to the masses.
The thing is, it's got a huge number of verses. So every time you have one verse, every time there's one verse, you get a chance to do the chorus.
You do.
And then there's a topsy at the end that's a ripper.
Good, is it? Which is obviously done by memory.
I know many Irish people who've done things from memory.
Yes, indeed.
Walk home.
Walk home from memory.
Now, while we're talking enduring careers, we have someone here whose career is kind of really taking off at the moment. And as much as we tend not to talk about personal life on this show, there is something that we do have to cover because it has become news of late. Anthony, how have your fans reacted upon finding out that your middle name is Cosmo?
Oh, no!
How embarrassing.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, it's my dad's name.
Is that your dad's name?
Yeah, and it was his grandfather's name as well. So I ended up with it because I was the eldest child and the eldest grandchild, so...
You have been in the headlines and all that kind of stuff. You were virtually outed on radio by a traffic reporter because, you know, they know what's going on in the world.
Of course they do, yeah.
How did that even happen?
It's funny because the way it happened, like, in February or so, I was talking to my manager about it and I said, you know, I'm comfortable within myself now to make that next step, and I think that's really important for anyone. Like, you know, going on Idol was a great experience, but at the same time I was not mentally prepared for it, and, you know, you can't really mentally prepare yourself for the, you know, the publicity that comes with going on a show like that. And, you know, there has to be a part of you that you keep to yourself, and, you know, when you're ready and when you are comfortable enough to make that next step, you know, that should be left up to the individual. And yeah, I'm really happy and comfortable with my own skin now. So, Yeah.
I think what you've done is very positive and very encouraging for all the young people out there who might be struggling with their own identities. What I find is quite strange is that it's in Australia, in this day and age,
That it's still
there's
an
all this
issue.
big hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Who cares what you do in your bedroom? Come and do it in mine.
I mean, I don't mean to be rude, Anthony, but what were you up to that a guy in a helicopter could see that you were doing?
I would like to know.
Really?
And if you're taking the freeway to work, look out! Myth, Julie and Denise, your stars and Mars are saxophonist and radio announcer Wilbur Wilde, accompanied by Elgar, uncanny X-Man Brian Mannix with Jan, and pianist and composer David Hirschfelder with Phyllis. Which of those stars matches which Mars?
We're tearing up. I know. Oh, look. Wilbur, I don't know whether Elga's your mother, but you look beautiful together. There's a real bond there. I'm thinking I'd like to just see, this isn't a final arrangement, I'd like to see Elgar in front of Brian. Yes. Brian and
Brian
Wilbur,
moved
if you
behind
swap.
Elgar, swap with Wilbur.
See if there's the same chem. Oh, look, Elgar doesn't want Wilbur to go. It's fine.
Brian's a friend of mine, Mum.
Yes, I think Elgar's got a very similar sense of humour to what I know of Brian's. We need to see another swap. So Wilbur and David.
You and David swap.
Okay.
Wilbur and David swap.
behind Phyllis.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Everybody looks devastated when their
I know.
person, their son moves. I don't know what's going on out there.
Said David, no.
But Denise, this isn't for permanent adoption. It can all be...
I know I am rather taking it seriously.
Yeah, I think they'll all be all
You'll ever
right.
go without your sonnies, Wilbur?
In fact, Wilbur, maybe put your sunnies on Phyllis and just see if that fits right.
Try those on.
Sunglasses off.
Oh, if you don't mind.
Oh!
Oh, hello.
Definitely Wilbur's mum. I think the way she gave those sunglasses.
Yeah, I think that's what we've
You're going to stick with that?
We're happy with
Yeah,
that.
that's it.
All right. Would the people who are standing behind their real mums please present them with the flowers? Ladies and gentlemen, that is Brian Mannix and his mum Elgar, which makes her an uncanny ex-mum. That is David Hirschfelder and his mum Jan, and that is Wilbur Wilde and his mum Phyllis.
But there is something weird happening between Elgar and Wilbur. I don't know what it is. The chemistry was electric.
I'm only slightly disappointed, Elgar. I was hoping you were going to be in leopard skin pants and a sporran. And now, Wilbur, just before we let you go, when was the last time you got in trouble with your mum?
Probably Saturday night on the way home from Montserrat, I think.
OK, because I'd like to read out an email you sent us about your mum coming on the show. This is exactly what Wilbur said. Hi, everyone. My mum's name is Phyllis Constance Aitken. And if you want her to keep it together, it's probably best to allow her only wine and beer on the night. There's more. Pims is OK, but if she goes for a hip flask, take her down. Ladies and gentlemen, we just thank our stars and their mums. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Round 2 is called 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Teams are told an obscure fact and are given 3 possible answers. You have to tell me the correct answer. Myth, Brian and Denise, here is your fact. Film producer Harry Cohn initially rejected Frank Sinatra for the role of Private Maggio in From Here to Eternity. According to a BBC documentary, Sinatra won the gig in which unconventional way? A. Mobster friends of Frank put a decapitated horse's head in Cohn's bed. B. Sinatra offered Cohn a night with both Ava Gardner and Marilyn Monroe. C. Sinatra arranged a full orchestra and sang at Cohn's daughter's bat mitzvah.
All right. Well, look, I reckon A's a true story, but I don't know if it fits here. I've heard that one about the horse in the bed.
I think the second one, Ava Gardner and Marilyn Monroe, I think he was going out with Lara Bingle at the time. So, I don't know about that.
Where the bloody hell are you then? I think Frank was a bit of a ladies' man.
Yes, yes.
He clearly had Ava and Marilyn at different times, maybe at the same. I'm not too sure.
Yes.
Whether or not he'd offer them up, I think that was a little
Oh,
bit
I think
wrong.
he would. Would he? I think he would. If you're going to get a gig in a film, you'd do that. You'd
Would the
offer up
ladies
your
do it
women.
for him?
No, but they'd offer.
So, what do you reckon, Miff?
We'll go with
Ava and Marilyn.
I reckon we'll go with B.
The correct answer is A. Mobster friends of Frank's put a decapitated horse's head in Cohn's bed. To be honest, you probably don't need to say decapitated horse's head.
It's where the story... That's the story that inspired the Godfather story.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Frank Sinatra disputed it. He said it's never happened.
And he won an Academy Award for it.
He won an Academy Award. How many horses did he go through?
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that vote for the Academy Awards. Horse population in California was decimated.
Yeah.
You couldn't find a horse's head anywhere. You could find horses wandering around thinking, I've got no idea where I'm going.
And also, you've got to pick your movie. That works from For Here to Eternity. If he had been auditioning from The Man from Snowy River, he'd have never got
exactly. Right. Or the horse whisperer, nothing to whisper into. Whispering, it's going, I've got no head, you know.